Hi everyone, this is Crow the Sandler fan here, and today I'm going to do a movie review. Today's movie review is going to be on a movie that happens to be a big, huge part of my childhood, and it's also the very first movie I've ever watched. And it came out 1 month after I was born, so I was a baby when it came out. And that would be the 2006 movie, Curious George. So the plot for Curious George is, it takes place in the jungle where Curious George loves being there and he plays with his animal friends until George later gets left out after he played with his animal friends. Which I feel bad for George in that one. And then later on in the movie we got Ted, played by Will Ferrell, who works at a museum, and he finds out that the owner of the museum, Mr. Bloomsbury, played by Dick Van Dyke, wants to close the museum because nobody's really interested in the museum anymore. And so his successful son, Junior, played by David Cross, wants to turn the museum into a parking place. But Ted hated that idea, as he said that it doesn't really need another parking lot. So Ted decided that in order to gain people's interest on the museum, so that way it won't shut down, Ted decided that he should go on a quest to find the lost idol of Sugala that's located in the jungle of Africa where George lives. So when Ted goes there, he meets George, and Ted later leaves his hat in the jungle, but George takes the hat with him and chases Ted. And then George finds Ted, but Ted is not happy to see George living in his life. But then, fun stuff happens, like George accidentally knocks over the dinosaur at the museum, and Ted and George go on a balloon ride, and George plays around with paint, and that's pretty much all I can explain for the movie. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers to those who haven't seen the movie yet. So my opinion on this movie, I gotta say, I loved that movie ever since I was little, and I still love it to this day. The acting performances are really well done and spectacular. Will Ferrell does an amazing job voicing Ted. In fact, Ted is personally one of my favorite Will Ferrell roles. And Frank Welker did a really great job voicing George. In fact, Frank Welker would later voice George in the TV show, which apparently the movie later had a TV show that's based off the movie that had Frank Welker reprising his role as George. And Dick Van Dyke did a pretty good job voicing Mr. Bloomsbury, and David Cross did a good job voicing Junior. And I gotta say, Junior was pretty funny too. And Joan Plowright is also in this movie. She did a good job voicing this opera singing lady. And Edo Ross did a good job voicing this grumpy guy named Ivan. And Ivan was a pretty funny character too. I even liked it when Ivan said, "You are no more 710p, you are kicked from building." That line had me dying of laughter when I was little, and it still makes me crack up to this day. Yeah, Ivan was a pretty funny character. And Eugene Levy is also in this movie too. He did a good job voicing this guy named Clovis, who is an inventor, and he has some robot pets like a robot dog and a robot elephant. He did pretty good participating in it. And there are a lot of funny stuff in the movie too. Like, I liked how Ted reacted when he got a cramp. He basically said, darn that cramp, darn that cramp." That line's pretty priceless. And And I also like the part where George poured some of the paint into the opera singing lady's bathtub. That part was also priceless. And I even liked when the opera singing lady said to the two painting guys, "You are fired." That line's also pretty funny. So, overall, there's nothing else I could say about the Curious George movie. To those of you who haven't seen the Curious George movie yet, I totally recommend it. You're gonna love it, trust me. It's really funny, really good, and really heartwarming. So for my final rating of the Curious George movie, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 stars. One of my favorite childhood movies. Thank you for listening to my review on the Curious George movie. Let me know in the comments of what you think. This is me saying, peace out.